What's up, guys? It's Benny. The cleanup operation is officially here at the FBI and DOJ after the Jeffrey Epstein PR nightmare that has taken over the internet. A massive announcement on this report right here from the CIA that said that James Comey and John Brennan, the directors of the FBI and the CIA under Barack Obama, are now under criminal investigation. Whoa. This report is a predicate. This is a CIA report that says that they effectively misused their positions, lied to Congress, and manipulated tradecraft information in order to try and get President Trump prosecuted for being a Russian agent. Wild times. FBI launches criminal investigation of John Brennan and James Comey. First time that an FBI director has been investigated by the FBI for criminal behavior. This is insane times that we are living through. CIA Director John Ratcliffe referred Brennan for criminal investigation to the FBI, sources told Fox News Digital. Let's read. Former CIA Director Brennan and former FBI Director Comey are under criminal investigation for potential wrongdoing related to the Trump-Russia probe, including allegedly making false statements to Congress, Justice Department sources told Fox News. CIA Director Ratcliffe referred evidence of wrongdoing by Brennan. This is the former CIA Director, so there's a CIA Director referring another CIA Director for criminal prosecution, FBI Kash Patel. And now they've learned that Comey as well is under investigation by his own FBI, right? This is an insane timeline. The sources told us that the referral was received and told Fox News that a criminal investigation into Brennan is opened and underway. DOJ sources declined to provide further details. It's unclear at this point if the investigation spans beyond the false statements to Congress. The full scope of the criminal investigation into Brennan and Comey is unclear, but two sources describe the FBI's view of the duo's actions as a conspiracy that could open up a wide range of potential prosecutorial options, including a RICO charge, which is what they brought against Trump. The irony here is just delicious. The FBI and the CIA declined to comment. Neither Brennan or Comey immediately responded to Fox News Digital's request for comment. The Brennan investigation comes after Ratcliffe last week declassified a lessons learned review. This is it right here. We're showing it to you on your screen, and you can, of course, read the full breakdown here from the CIA. What you'll see here, if you read the full document, is that John Brennan and James Comey just completely blew out of the water any type of norms or procedures in order to rapidly go after Trump and frame him as a Russian spy. That's what they did. They broke every rule in order to manipulate intelligence reports to go after their political enemies. It's, of course, illegal. Brennan or Comey did not respond for comment. The 2017 intelligence community assessment alleges that Russia sought to influence the 2016 presidential election to help candidate Donald Trump, when in fact the opposite is true. Russian spies helped Hillary Clinton by writing the PP dossier. That's just a matter of fact. Russia did influence the 2016 election against Donald Trump. It's a matter of absolute historic record. Okay. The creation rushed with procedural anomalies that officials diverted from intelligence standards. It also determined that decisions by agency heads to include the Steele dossier ran counter to fundamental tradecraft principles and ultimately undermined the credibility of key judgment. The dossier, the anti-Trump document filled with unverified and wholly inaccurate claims that was commissioned by Hillary Clinton's campaign and misappropriated, is widely discredited. This document, by the way, created by Russian spies. They used Christopher Steele to speak with Russian spies that created this document. This is the literal Russian disinformation. Okay. Obama approved of it, obviously, and let them run wild. Records declassified as part of this review further revealed that Brennan did, in fact, push for the dossier to be included in this assessment. Brennan testified at the House Judiciary Committee that he did not believe the dossier should be included, so he lied. Ratcliffe was not surprised by the review's findings. Sources told Fox News Digital, given the director's long history of criticizing Brennan's politicization of the agency, Ratcliffe was compelled to refer aspects of Brennan's involvement to the FBI to review for criminality. A source was unable to share the sensitive details of Ratcliffe's referral, said that Brennan violated public trust and should be held accountable for it. Yikes. False statement portion of the probe stemmed from newly declassified email sent by Brennan, CIA director, in 2016. The message included the dossier saying that the credibility of the entire paper, and it could devastate the credibility of the entire paper. Yikes. Okay, so he knew it was garbage. Despite these objections, Brennan showed a preference for the narrative that Donald Trump was a Russian spy, because John Brennan is an evil little Marxist goblin. CIA officials at the time of its creation pushed back against the FBI, which sought to include the dossier, arguing the dossier would not be included in the assessment, casting it simply as internet rumor. Ultimately, Steele's reporting was not included in the final body, and so on and so forth. This is Christopher Steele, but again, he used Russian agents. He used Russian disinformation to rig the election. Obama's Russia collusion report was corrupt from the start. This is what you can find, and I encourage you to read the full CIA note on this enormous scandal dwarfing Watergate and the Pentagon Papers. Very, very bad. So this was what Director Ratcliffe said. He's Donald Trump's director of the CIA. All the world can now see the truth. Brennan, Clapper, and Comey manipulated intelligence and silenced career professionals, all to get Trump. Thank you to the career CIA officers who exposed all of this. And now, of course, the FBI has launched criminal investigations. So given all of the news surrounding Jeffrey Epstein right now, what do you believe is going to happen? Do you believe they're going to go soft on these guys? Or do you believe they're really going to get it done? Are they actually going to prosecute and prosecute correctly, efficiently, and ruthlessly? People saying keep it away from Pam Bondi at all costs, hold them accountable before the statute of limitation lapses. FBI launches criminal investigations. This is, of course, the biggest news in the world. CIA director referred for wrongdoing along with James Comey. Wild. John Brennan and James Comey are under criminal investigation. This was, by the way, predicted on our program by General Flynn. General Flynn, who told us last week that this must happen, that they have to be put under investigation. Immediately put them under investigation. You don't want to say what Obama directed you to do. We will hold you in contempt, and you will go to prison. Here's General Flynn predicting the future here. Let's go. Love it when this happens on our show. It happens a lot, actually. Thanks for subscribing. Here you go.
In your capacity as a military man, what should happen to these key players, Comer, Clapper, and Brennan? Because now, according not to your book, not to me, not to blogs, right, or to tweets, but according to the director of the CIA and a phalanx of analysts who've been tasked and worked on this for months, and also the John Durham report, if you want to use that as an appendix to this, according to all of the available evidence, they lied to Trump's face. They actively usurped presidential power. They committed treason, General. Am I wrong?
Yeah. So in March of 2020, I'm sorry, let me get the date right. March of 2017, this is very important. I talk about this. March of 2017 I'm out of the White House. So Trump let me go because, it was a whatever. I mean, I describe that in detail too. I mean, Mike Pence, I go after Mike Pence in the book quite a bit, actually, because Mike Pence, to me, is, talk about a traitorous or disloyalty, at least disloyalty. But in March of 2017, there was a briefing to I think it's the gang, what they call the Gang of Eight. And in that briefing, this is from Devin Nunes. I talk a little bit about this. So remember when Devin Nunes went over to the White House and talked to President Trump, and then he came out of the White House and he was like berated by the media. And Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House at the time, then suspended Devin Nunes from being the chair of the intel community for like 8 months. It was like a long time. People tend to forget that. So Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, Republican, suspends Republican Devin Nunes, as the chair of the intel committee in the House, because he went over to the White House in March and told the president, hey, we just got briefed. The Gang of Eight just got briefed. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. This is even before Mueller was even appointed. This is before Mueller's appointed. So what they began to do is and this is when they went after Devin Nunes. So the Nancy Pelosi smear campaign, the tactics of this, the entire intel community's leadership. Now Trump is in, but Trump doesn't really know yet. He doesn't know the way of the world of Washington, D.C. at that time. Now he does. So that's another piece of evidence that we all now know, but we knew then too. And so Paul
Ryan You're saying Paul Ryan and Mike Pence at least were in on this?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Paul Ryan and Mike Pence wanted Trump out during the very famous prior to the election in 2016, the pussy tapes. Okay, I'll say it like that. Sorry, but that infamous tapes came out. I know at that time that there was discussions between Reince Priebus and Mike Pence about, well, if Trump steps down, then we're going to have a plan. And we're gonna, because they were hopeful, because that tape didn't come out through Democrat operatives. Okay, so there was a plan for, hopefully Trump's going to step down and go, screw this, you guys can have it. Those guys were ready to step right in. Okay, this is 2016. So all the people out there that think all these guys are great because they're Republicans, sorry, they're not. This is where the Uniparty steps in. And the Uniparty is one of these big problems that we face in this country because they don't want to accept that we are in the midst of a revolution, and a Marxist takeover. And Barack Obama, there's no reason in the world why Barack Obama should have ever won the first time around, but he did because there was a push by a lot of people because they knew this was the opportunity that they had to start this turnover of our country. Okay, 8 years of Barack, 8 years of Hillary, we'd be done. So now, here's where we are at today on your show, here in America with this, bill that's about to happen, and Trump has got a lot of authority, right? A lot of leadership authority that he's been given by the judgment of the American people, by the majority of the American people, the way our country is supposed to be run. And in that judgment, he's going to have to make a decision. And this is kind of where I keep saying enough is enough. He's going to have to make a decision about how and who to hold accountable.
Yes. And
he's going to have to turn. I want people to remember that the chief law enforcement officer in the country is not the attorney general. It's not the attorney general. The chief law enforcement in the country is the president of the United States. We always say, he's the president and he's the commander in chief. He's also the chief law enforcement officer in the country. He's the only one with pardon authority at that level, right? And he can declare things based on national security and national emergency issues alone. So he can decide which direction the country goes, and he does it because the majority of the judgment of the American people were imbued into his ability to be able to do that. That's where we are. So Trump is going to have to sit there with his team, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, sort of his national security team, and probably pull in a few others and sit there and go, okay, what do we do here, folks? Because we can't have reports like this come out and nothing happen, right? John Brennan, I'll tell you what. So one thing, and I called for it yesterday. Pam Bondi should immediately, and she should tell the American people, she should immediately put John Brennan, Jim Clapper, and Jim Comey under investigation as a minimum. Put them under and tell the American people the Department of Justice has made the decision, and we have coordinated with the White House. Okay, the President of the United States is aware, and he has given us the authority to go ahead and do this, to put these gentlemen under investigation, and to tell them, just like I was told or Trump was told, save all your text messages, save all of your emails, save all of your phone conversations, because we're going to go pull it all up. And guess what we're also going to do? We're going to do some things in the classified side. We're going to use the national security apparatus that we do have in the Department of Justice, and we are going, because they just appointed a new national security division czar in the Department of Justice. We're going to pull all the classified texts. Okay, we're going to pull it all. We're going to look into every bit of it, because believe me, they did a lot of stuff on what's called, the classified work environment, CWE or JWICS, right? Joint Worldwide Intelligence Command and Control System. I mean, these are highly classified systems where a lot of the communications was had. All right, and also any communications you had with the president, and because Steve Bannon, right? Steve Bannon and Pete Navarro went to jail. They went to prison because of the protection of executive privilege. They went to jail over it. All right. So you don't want to say what Barack Obama directed you to do? Then we're going to hold you in contempt, and you're going to go to prison. Believe me. And I've said this in the past, and I don't know whether I said it on your show. The very first guy that, if I was the Attorney General, I would immediately go bring in Jim Clapper. I go get Jim Clapper and I'd bring them in. And guess what? For national security purposes, you don't even need to bring a lawyer. Don't have to have a lawyer. Ask a lot of the J6ers, okay? And you bring them in, and I can guarantee on the way from his house to wherever you're going to question him, and make it a long ride, right? Make it a long ride. I guarantee Jim Clapper will start spilling his guts, because Jim Clapper knows that he's screwed. And he can't play I got partial dementia like Uncle Joe did because I'm old. No. I'm sorry, buddy. Do it to Jim Comey. Do it to John Brennan. Do it to some of the others that are around this whole thing, Benny. This is so bad. This is so bad. So now